Turn now to the man who has created that tension, the man to beat here in New Hampshire, Barack Obama. He has been drawing, as we said, huge crowds. 3,000 people lined up, snaking around blocks, waiting for him. And I went with him behind the scenes. He told me he's not going to be drawn into Senator Clinton's trench warfare, and it's also clear he's seen the polls. So, are you going to win New Hampshire?
Well, I think we are going to do well in New Hampshire.
Well defined as?
Well, as in good, as in I think
one or two.
I think we'll feel good about what happens in New Hampshire.
Senator Clinton is out there, and she is talking about you a lot.
Oh, goodness.
Here are some of the things she said.
Saying you're going to vote against the Patriot Act and then voting for it, that's not change. Saying that you are against the war in Iraq, but then voting for $300 billion to fund it, that's not change.
In other words, on these two positions, on the war and the Patriot Act, that you switched, that you flipped.
Not true. Not true. On the war, I was against the war in 2002. The notion that, that Senator Clinton would use that as a way of suggesting that I wasn't against the war from the start, I think is Diane, the classic kind of politics.
But what about her charge that he claims not to want lobbyists around him, but his New Hampshire co-chair, Jim Demers, is a state lobbyist for pharmaceutical companies?
Senator Obama's chair in New Hampshire is a lobbyist. He lobbies for the drug companies. So I think it's important.
You seem to be saying that's not true.
What she was implying was that I'd somehow broken my pledge to not accept money from federal registered lobbyists, which I don't. This guy lobbies in Concord. He has nothing to do with the federal government.
But is that a distinction without a difference? Federal versus state
absolutely.
lobbyists?
No, I think that's a very important difference, because what I'm saying is that I will not have somebody who is trying to directly affect my actions involved in my campaigns. I'm not going to have somebody who could in some way curry favor with me in the federal government involved in my campaigns.
Even if he's with the pharmaceutical industry, which he is.
Look, I mean, this is the kind of thing that really is frustrating, because if you have set a high bar, you don't take federal lobbyist money, you don't take PAC money, you then get criticized by somebody who is hugely funded by federal lobbyists and hugely funded by PACs.
Tell me about the moment last night at which she was asked the question about likability, and she said, that hurts my feelings. And you said, you're likable enough, Hillary.
I don't think I'm that bad.
You're likable enough,
thank
Hillary.
You so much. I appreciate that.
Is she likable enough or very likable?
Oh, Diane, I think folks are parsing things too much there. What I should have said, the way I suppose I should have phrased it, is I think you are plenty likable. I was trying to make a gesture of graciousness that apparently has somehow been, perceived differently. But, that's the hazards of running for president.
Do you get angry at her?
Not really.
At the Clinton machine, the Clinton campaign, as it's called?
I find the manner in which they've been running their campaign is sort of depressing lately.
He says particularly her argument that America shouldn't be given false hope.
We don't need to be raising the false hopes of our country about what can be delivered.
You can picture JFK saying, we can't go to the moon. It's a false hope. Let's get a reality check. It's not, I think, what our tradition has been.
You talk about change. You talk about being our better selves.
Mm-hmm.
What about sacrifice?
Mm-hmm.
In an Obama administration, what would the American people be asked to sacrifice?
Well, I think I mentioned in this town hall meeting.
And some of them will be tough.
If we're going to get serious about an energy policy, then we're going to have to readjust our economy and our own personal habits in pretty serious ways. We have to increase fuel efficiency standards on cars. We have to increase efficiency of buildings. We're going to have to change light bulbs. We're going to have to probably pay higher electricity prices, at least in the short term, as there's adaptations made by technology. And so There will be some resistance. I promise you, when I put forward my proposal to curb greenhouse gases, but this is not just an environmental issue, it's a national security issue as well, and I think the American people and the people here in New Hampshire understand that.
And as the people of New Hampshire turned out by the thousands yesterday to hear him, we boarded his campaign bus for a personal conversation. I asked about his wife, Michelle.
So tell me, when you called home last night after the debate,
Yeah.
what was the word from Mrs. Obama?
She gave it a thumbs up, you know, and she's a tough critic, but I'll be honest with you, she doesn't watch them. She gets too nervous. Yeah, so yeah, she comes off as that tough gal, you know, pose, but she gets very tense. So she watches HD TV or, you know, the Food Channel, and then after it's over, she calls other people and finds out how it went.
In our next half hour, has Obama called Oprah since Iowa? What did she say? And what does he say to himself every night before he sleeps?